Hello, everyone. Welcome to San Diego State University Open House. The School of Exercise and Nutrition Sciences is happy to have your attention. Congratulations if you've been admitted, and know that we are rooting for you if you still haven't got the good news. I'm here to welcome you and also to introduce you to some of the academic things in the school and also our undergraduate advising team. My picture just jiggled a little, but my name's Kelly Land. I'm on the far left. Next to me is our advisor, Louise Chatinier, and our lead graduate assistant, Elise North. I'm here to talk with you about the educational and pre-professional opportunities in the School of Exercise and Nutrition Sciences. Some of the highlights in our school are that we're 2,300 plus students and growing. So students are very interested in our field, and we're highly impacted, which I'll discuss with you more in a moment. We have 4 bachelor's degree programs and 3 nationally accredited professional programs. We have a 98% director approval rating, so our faculty really like our leader, and you know that's how stuff gets done, is when people work together and people value the leadership that they have. We also have a 4.79 out of 5 on our student teaching evaluations. So students really do enjoy and feel like they have a good learning experience with our faculty. Last stat is that we have less than 5% elective student attrition, meaning that once students qualify for one of our majors, they don't change their mind. So they are interested in the curriculum and they find it relevant to the goals they're pursuing, and that doesn't change across the semesters they're here at San Diego State. And that's important because, decision changes make money, they cost money. So essentially it saves money to like the major that you're in and that you've chosen. Our mission in the school is to create leaders. We want leaders in the areas of health, rehab, and fitness, and we know that it's our obligation to create those leaders, to provide them a platform of scholarly study, of research inquisition, and one that provides them some professional practice. So that is our goal. And to do that, we have a great bachelor's degree program. It is highly impacted, though. You have to have almost a B average to qualify for major. It is very interdisciplinary. And it has a set of curricular courses that we call the Super Core. And these courses are in common for all the degree programs in the school, including those in exercise science and you guys in nutrition science. The Bachelor's in Foods and Nutrition program has a core set of curriculum that I think is really unique in terms of DPD programs, which we'll get to in a second. We are a DPD program. Why I like the curriculum so much at San Diego State is because it is more diverse than typical human nutrition DPD programs. It has food science, both analytical food science, food chemistry. It has food business, food systems management. You're learning how to write business plans. And so it has some things built into it to build and spring from if you're not exactly dead set on clinical nutrition, which most of you are, but it does at least give you insight to other fields. And even at the least, it helps you build your resume because some of the equipment and tools that you'll use in these courses you can list. So I love the way the curriculum is designed to give students a little bit of a diversity in the nutrition fields. I also like that they have exploratory electives, and you can pick classes in business or management or marketing or whatever makes sense. And if you don't want to do the exploratory electives, you can take courses in the DPD. And we do encourage most students to do the route of the DPD. I'll explain to you what that is. So our program is a joint bachelor's program, so you can leave with just your bachelor's, or you can do the joint DPD, which is where you have to qualify for this very last portion, and that allows you to do something after you graduate. So in a nutshell, once you're accepted to San Diego State, you go all the way until the end of your junior year, potentially right before your senior year, and you apply to the DPD. And once you're accepted to the DPD, and to get in, you have to have a 3.1 GPA and all C or better grades. Once you're accepted to the DPD and you meet those criteria, and that's really what getting accepted is just meeting those criteria, you're admitted to take DPD classes your senior year. And that senior year, you're taking DPD classes, and that makes you eligible to apply to a dietetic internship post-bachelor's degree. And then after that dietetic internship, eligible to sit for the registration exam to become an RD. I know that is a very verbose and lengthy thing to explain and to comprehend in a very fast sentence, but I'll kind of verify it or say it again. You're verified at the end of your junior year, just anytime before your senior year, so that you can take DPD classes in the senior year. Those DPD classes make you eligible to apply for that dietetic internship. You'll do that 1-year internship after your bachelor's, and that makes you eligible to take that RD test. So that's essentially the path, and that is what the DPD program has to offer you. It makes you eligible to become a dietitian once you graduate. Now, we also have master's degree programs, and it's a good topic on the heels of the DPD because very shortly you're going to have a master's degree to be able to become eligible for the dietetic internship. So the DPD will no longer be at the bachelor's degree level. So it is something that we're pointing out to students now because very shortly after they become registered dietitians, their field will change greatly and it will now require a master's. And so they may want to consider doing it early so that they're not stuck in, salary brackets from people who are going to be newer in the field than they are. So master's degree required on the horizon, something to consider. Students in nutrition also consider the dual masters because it has built-in ability to work with sports and strength and conditioning, and even in some cases in exercise physiology, they'll go on to become exercise physiologists. So the dual masters is something to consider, especially if you want to do anything in consulting or health and fitness on your own. We have a lot of student engaging research for undergraduates in foods and nutrition. I would say they have very interdisciplinary research that's a mix of both applied and basic questions in nature. In other words, we ask very fundamental foundation questions like how many polyphenols are in this strawberry, and then also very applied questions like if we feed strawberries, does it change cognitive ability? And so we get funded by both government organizations and commercial organizations to do both of these types of research. And we're trying to solve problems and answer questions related to health promotion, fitness, disease prevention, sports med, sports performance, etc. So taking a look at this, for instance, in health promotion, right now we have a faculty member who looks at the sociological aspects of nutrition and the problem about food insecurity. And she looks at how food assistance programs, do they really help with food insecurity? And so she measures that. We also have a food science faculty who looks at underutilized food resources, specifically edible insects. And his area of research is fascinating, and it's related to health promotion because this would change, the way we have nutrient deficiencies in other countries who don't have as many protein sources. So it's an area of health promotion, and it's of concern for health promotion. We also have people who are more interested in the psychological aspects. For instance, we have a faculty member, she's actually a neurochemist, but she studies smell and the sense of smell, how it's related to overeating. And most recently, her research has gone in the direction of holiday food smells. And I think this is fascinating because it turns out our olfactory, sensory areas are very deeply connected to overeating. So some of the different areas for health promotion where nutrition people fit in. We also, of course, do a lot in sports performance, and I'd say our biggest crossover area with faculty, as our exercise science faculty and nutrition faculty do a lot together with sports performance. So how to enhance endurance, enhance power, recovery, things like that. Our biggest area of research and where most of our students get the biggest opportunity is in the area of disease prevention. We have a really incredible team working on functional food compounds and how they may affect reducing inflammation, reducing bone loss, reducing cancer, tumor growth, and how we may improve cognitive function. So big chronic diseases that we suffer from, looking at extracts and food compounds, and we have had some interesting things. So I could talk all about all of these forever, but in a short video like this, for instance, prunes. We study a compound in prunes that significantly reduces the amount of bone breakdown that postmenopausal women experience. And of course, they have accelerated bone loss. So it's of interest to us that we can feed them this prune extract, reduce their bone loss. And so these are the kind of studies students are able to work on. We also are working on colon cancer studies where we can feed concentrated amounts of these compounds, and cancer tumor cells apoptose, they die. So we're able to isolate these food things, able to isolate these health issues. And of course, we're doing it right now at the very most basic levels, but it's been fun for the students to be involved in such important, big disease health picture research. We have lots of course, biochemical and nutrition lab facilities to expedite this research. We do lots of anthropometric stuff, so body fat testing, bone density testing, and lots of biochemical testing, so glucose responses, inflammatory markers, things that we need high performance machines for. We also have a lot in the food science lab, but I won't go into it. But students are able to list this kind of stuff on their resumes, whether they go to work with lab or work with research or not, because they're going to get to play with this stuff in their labs. And so they can list on their resume, yes, I know how to do high performance liquid chromatography. People like that kind of stuff. Careers in nutrition. So most of the people that major in foods and nutrition, they earn their registration in dietetics. And usually they'll work in one of two areas, healthcare or health and fitness. In the healthcare area, most of you guys pursue the registered credential route. I'm sorry, not registered credential, registered dietitian route, so RD. And again, I'm going to give you the route again because it's tricky. You earn the bachelor's, then you do the DPD program while you're earning the bachelor's. That's why it's red, because that happens here at state. Then you do the internship, then you take the test. The only other route really for dietitians to work in healthcare is to become a DTR. And this is the same thing. Bachelor's and DPD program means you had to have the grades and you took the DPD classes, but you didn't do the internship. So you can also sit for an exam doing that route and you earn a DTR certification instead of RD. Both of those can work in healthcare systems. Now, since you don't have a lot of different letters or acronyms behind your names to choose from, you guys get to specialize and pick what setting you want to set up your career the way you want it. So you can pick a particular setting or specialization, and you can work in either private practice, outpatient, in home services, or hospital settings. Most of you guys end up in hospital settings, but I have seen it get a little bit more creative over these past few years. You guys also go into health and fitness, and you can do this as a degree nutritionist, which really doesn't mean anything. It's just for the people that don't become registered dietitians. And for you guys, I would recommend probably a master's in nutrition or a PhD so that, it has a little bit more credibility. The registered dietitian route is also recommended for the people going into health and fitness. Same exact track, only for, you guys that are thinking about non-clinical routes, you could go into consultation for food companies, government, military, sports teams, anyone who employs a dietitian besides a hospital, essentially, which is a lot of different types of organizations. Lots growing right now in corporate fitness and corporate wellness programs. They have dietitians there now in the gyms, lots in growing supermarket dietitians. So all sorts of things. And this will evolve by the time you're done and in the field. Why pick Sdsu for your foods and nutrition program? Well, number one, we're a really big program and we house a lot of the dietitians in the area. So our students love our students. So you're likely to run into our students as your preceptors. But back to the point is we're very student-centered. We do think about students and decisions that we make, online teaching, textbooks, the way that just courses are laid out in general. I know that Sdsu, I've been here since the 90s. It is a student-centered university. I've seen it through budget situations, different types of models, centralized versus decentralized departments, and every decision it makes, it's very student centered. We have a great faculty. I mean, of course, I would say this because I'm part of it, but I genuinely mean it because it was once my faculty too, so I could give you legit feedback, but they're all good. And what I've seen evolve about them and what I'm impressed by now is that back then in the 90s and before, we were the gateways. The professors were the gateways of the content. They were the owners of the content and they were the source of the content. And that's all they had to do was disseminate the content. But now we're not the owners of the content. We are simply people to inspire and package the content and inspire people to want to dig more into the content. The content's everywhere for them and it's free. So now we just have to pump people up on the content, right? So, and that's something I think the ENS faculty has been incredibly quick to evolve to do. So I'm impressed by our faculty. They're respected, they score well, and they constantly review their curriculum. There are no holes. What changes in practice changes in that classroom, and it happens quick because they have their finger on the pulse. We definitely involve our students in research, and I think that's a really big, important thing, especially for foods and nutrition students, because you guys have opportunities to publish papers and laboratory experiences before you even finish undergrad. So that is not something a lot of universities have. Our DPD program is top notch. Like I said, we're the primary source of RDs in the region, but we also have a higher RD pass rate than the national average. And most importantly, the dietetic internships post-graduation that I've mentioned a couple times, we have an 8 out of 10 match rate, actually a little more, but the national average is somewhere in the 6 to 10 out of 10 match rate. So we're way above the national average in people that get internships. So San Diego State students do bode well on the competitiveness of those dietetic internships. And of course, our program is accredited by ASEN, which is the Academy for Dietetics. Sdsu also has lots of rich field experiences for students. You do community counseling at food assistance programs. We have a self-sustained fitness clinic where students give nutrition counseling to people with disabilities and adaptive disabilities and learning disabilities. We also have clinics where nutrition students work with people on giving them nutrition advice, people with different learning disabilities and physical disabilities. We also have an excellent student nutrition organization, which is the student club for the nutrition program. And they've won the President Award several years in a row. They do a lot of philanthropy. They raise a ton of money. They do a ton of networking. And again, it's one of those things that when you're out in the field and you apply to a job or an internship, they're going to see snow on your resume. It's a very reputable, great, tight-knit networking club. Last but not least, SDSU gives students the opportunity to study abroad. So students are welcome to do a full semester, but in most instances, foods and nutrition students take summer programs. And one particular one that our nutrition faculty does is they go to Barcelona and they look at food, culture, and wine. So I'm sure they have a great time. They spend 4 weeks in Spain and just literally eating and drinking and living it up. We also do a program for exercise students, but sometimes nutrition students also are interested in this one, but they go to Rome and they study Renaissance art and human anatomy. And of course, nutrition students are into that too, so that is a crossover one. But there's lots of programs for them to choose from, but again, it's another neat thing about SDSU. Students sometimes are a little reluctant about the cost, but once they're done with it, it overall is one of the most high impacting learning experiences they have at SDSU. So you guys, that's all I have. Thank you for listening. I know that was a lot of information and this video is supposed to be super short, but I'm just not good at that. So thank you for the time and patience. Here's some contact numbers. As soon as this whole crazy health mess blows over, you're welcome to come in and visit us. We're in the ENS building, ENS 359. Until then, email us at ensugrad@sdsu.edu with any questions or concerns or comments. And just know that we're so happy to have you guys. Stay safe until summer orientation. Travel safe. Be safe. Take care. And thank you for your interest in San Diego State. Bye-bye.